So Google Earth is a fun tool. Just at this point, we can navigate around the globe. We can turn roads on, so we can look at roads in the U.S. specifically is probably the best thing to look at. And we can see down here, if we get close enough, we can see our own Cedar Rapids is up here, and then we can see North Liberty and Iowa City. So that's all well and good, but it only gets at part of what Google Earth is about. Google Earth can do a lot more than just this, and this is where you come in, because you can actually control the place marks and the interesting things in Google Earth. So what I'm going to talk about next are tools that you can use to draw attention to certain areas on the map, and we'll do a couple practice ones to demonstrate these. But first, I just want to do a quick overview and show you what each one is. So first of all, these are our tools up here. Notice they all have a plus sign by them. And we'll talk just a little bit about these other ones right here. They're not quite as important, but they can be helpful as well. So we'll start here. This is the Add a Placemark tool. And what this allows us to do is essentially take a push pin, and this is the dialog box that comes up, and it allows us to kind of put a push pin wherever we really want to. So I'm going to zoom in, and the further that you're zoomed in, the more specific you can be. And I just see something that looks kind of interesting over here, so I'm going to put a push pin over here. And for those of you who don't know, this is Lake Okoboji right here in northwestern Iowa. So I'm going to put a push pin here. Okay, and the push pin tool, it doesn't matter how far you zoom out, you're still going to be able to see that push pin. Unlike, see how now we can't see Sioux Falls and we can't see some other labels, but the push pin is going to stay here no matter what. See how I zoom out? Push pin is still going to be there. Doesn't matter where I zoom, you're still going to be able to see it. So the first thing what we can do with a place mark is name it. So for instance, for this one, we're going to name it Lake Okoboji. And you should be working along with me, because practicing this as you see it is probably the best way to get it done. If you need to pause at any time, you can do that to make sure you can keep up. So we named it the latitude and longitude. If you remember from map reading, this tells us exactly, precisely where this place mark is located on the Earth. And now we have some other options that we can take a look at. So for Lake Okoboji, I'm going to click on this icon right here. It just kind of looks blank right now, but if I click on it, it's going to open up this nice dialog box that has all these different icons that we can use to show what we actually mean by Lake Okoboji, because the push pin is just not very descriptive. So we look around here, and we're looking, and here's some water that's pretty close, and here's a sailboat, and I like the sailboat because that, to me, that says lake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, and this now becomes the place mark icon for this Lake Okoboji. Also, things that you can do, and that we probably won't get into, but just so you know, you can change the color. So you can select a different color for the icon. Maybe we like red boats, so we'll make it red. Click OK. It won't show up here, but it'll actually show up on the screen. And maybe we want it to be a bigger icon, so make sure no one misses it. So we'll make it 2.0 scale, and the opacity, that just means is it partially transparent. So we can also make it partially transparent if we wanted to, and so we could bring the opacity down to 50. Notice how now this icon seems to fade back into the background. I think that's a little distracting, so I'm going to take this back to 100% opacity, but that lets you know that you can change those options. You also have the option, if you'd like, to do no icon, and I don't really recommend that in most cases, unless you might be place marking a volcano or something, and if you want the very top of the volcano showing, maybe you want to click no icon. If you click no icon, and I'll just do that for a second, if you click no icon, notice how the name still shows, but you don't see the icon exactly where that place mark is placed. So I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to change that color back to red because we like that, and I'm going to click OK there, and then I'm going to scale this up to 2 so we can see what a bigger one looks like. Just as a general rule of thumb, if you want to make an icon and it's of a geologic feature, maybe you want to make the scale quite a bit smaller. So I think that's the case for this lake, so I'm actually going to bring it down there too. Then you click OK, and it'll save your changes. In the description, you're allowed to write whatever you want. You can say, this is a lake where I like liked wakeboard, for instance. Wakeboard's a word. So you can put a description down there to help you remember something about it. The style and the color, we already altered this. The label, that just means the text, and we don't have to worry about that. And then the view, you can control if it centers in the view. We already have the latitude and longitude picked out. And the altitude, well, this is something that we're actually going to create in a different way. So we'll go back to that. I'll click OK. And now we have this place mark that shows up right here on Lake Okoboji. So it doesn't matter how far we zoom in, it's still going to show up there. And now we know exactly where Lake Okoboji is. Also, say we're zoomed out here and we're in a different part of the map. So say we're over here. If I click on this, I'm going to double click on it. It's going to take us there. And notice also it shows that description that we put in. This is the lake where I like to wakeboard. So you can see that brings us in here. And we have Lake Okoboji and an icon on it. Notice also if we hide the search tab and bring up places, that under my places, Lake Okoboji is the first thing listed there because that's something that we've saved. Alright, so that is how we do place marks in Google Earth. Now, also, one final note on place marks, this is especially important for things like volcanoes. So if you want people to see this a certain way every time they click on it, what you can do is change our perspective. So we went to this change perspective tool, and maybe I like this perspective a little better, and I'm going to look at it here, and maybe I think that it would look better if we were looking at it from the north, looking south. So I pull north down here, so now we're looking south, and maybe I'll change the perspective a little bit more. Maybe just even a little bit more so we can see how flat Iowa is. Okay, so now we're looking, we can see Lake Okoboji, we can see Spirit Lake, and say I really like this view, and every time someone clicks on this I want them to see this. So what I do is I click here, and then I right-clicked on Lake Okoboji, and then I go down here and I click on Snapshot View. And what this will do is it'll create this snapshot so that every time anyone clicks on Lake Okoboji, no matter where they are in Google Earth, it will take them to this view of it. So we come back and say I spin around the globe, and I'm just indiscriminately over here out by Bermuda, let's say. And I'm just checking out Bermuda. It's kind of a cool place. Maybe I spin my compass around so I'm facing north and I'm looking at it. Bermuda looks kind of cool, but all of a sudden I'm like, well, I still want to see Lake Okoboji. So now I'm going to double click on this. Notice how we are changing our perspective, and we go exactly to that snapshot that we just created. So that allows you to look at whatever you want on your place mark from a certain view.